Have you ever been curious about starting a business, or maybe you're in the process of starting a business and you're like, how do I get from where I am now to making my very first sale? And this is really exciting today because I am starting a new series where I'm going to coach on air, on here, on the podcast. And today I'm bringing on a very special guest, Jen Hastert, who is in my Elevate program. We've been working together for a few months and we have identified this cycle that she gets in of knowing what she's going to do, taking some action, but then like not taking it over the finish line. So creating an offer, but then not marketing it, creating a freebie and then changing our mind or hiding behind education, right? Jen's in the cycle of doing all these things and we've been working together on it. So this is a coaching episode with Jen. We are kind of picking up where we've left off, where she's been doing a lot of this work. And now on this episode, we're coming up with a new 30-day goal for her to not only keep her on track for her long-term goals, but to get that first cash injection through the door. So this is a really fun episode, but I have a feeling that part two might even be more interesting. Hopefully we'll be just celebrating and Jen can come back and tell you all the reframes and everything that was different. And we'll also be able to think about any barriers that popped up. So we're going to set her 30-day goals and we're going to talk about some of the things that have held her up in the past and what she is in the process of doing and changing and really working on herself to build that self-integrity and make the changes into the future. So I think you're going to love this episode. This is live coaching. There's no edits, being made to the way that I'm coaching or the way that Jen is answering. And I'm excited to do more of these. So if you're interested in being coached live on the podcast, or you have a question or barrier in business, no matter how beginner or advanced you are, all are welcome. And I'm trained to handle any of those level questions. I've coached millionaires to startups. I'm equipped to answer any of the questions because I don't really answer. I coach you. There's a difference. So you can go to elizabethhenson.co/ask and fill out that quick form. And we'll either feature your question here on the podcast or we'll invite you on as a guest as long as you're open to being coached. So let's go ahead and get started with our first one-to-one coaching series with my friend Jen. Welcome back to the Messy Success Podcast, where your growth is our favorite topic. I'm Elizabeth Henson, and on this channel, we share behind the scenes of building a business using our community-based marketing and real-life lessons to make business easy and profitable. We help you combine your dharma, your skills, and your offers to build the business of your dreams on your terms. I don't give average business advice. I hate to tell you, but I'm here to help you unlock your superpowers that are already within you. So make sure you follow along, hit that subscribe button, and I promise you'll start becoming more magnetic and see your own community grow around your brand. All right, Jen, I'm so excited about this. Jen is our very first coach on air victim, we'll say. So thank you for being vulnerable and for being here with us. And I know that we've worked together, so we're going to build a little bit of context here before we get started, but tell everyone like who you are and, what your business is or what you hope for it to be.
Right. So I'm still in the building phase. As you know, I've been in freeze mode, but I'm Jennifer Hastert. I am a wellness coach focusing primarily on helping women probably over 40 to 60 understand the root cause of disease. I've previously worked for an integrative cancer center in Mexico. And I lost both my parents to cancer. So it's a topic that I'm certainly passionate about. And what I learned when I worked at the cancer center was that people get overwhelmed with their diagnosis. It's because there's so many, it's Dr. Google, like there's so much information out there. And so for me, what I want to do is make the process simple and help people take them step by step through the process of understanding root cause of disease and how they can heal themselves as a whole and not just put a Band-Aid on the cancer diagnosis.
Beautiful. I love it. So what does it look like when you work with your dream clients? Like, what is that experience like for them?
Well, I'm still trying to figure that out with your help. Like
Great.
you're like my bumpers on my bowling alley lane, right? Keeping me in my lane because I have not been in my lane.
Yeah. So let's try that question a little bit of a different way. So, what is when you close your eyes and you picture this business like already running and already being successful, do you see it being a course? Do you see it being one-on-one sessions? Do you see yourself having a brick and mortar? Like, what is your like dreamiest desired outcome in the way that you work with people?
My dreamiest desired outcome is to create courses for people to take and walk them through the steps. I would love to have a brick and mortar, like it's a healing space where people come in community and like for people like us that are in the health and wellness arena, and then have healing modalities there as a benefit of the membership. That would be like a dream. And then speaking on stage just to educate people and guide them toward the resources that I know. I mean, I've read hundreds of books over the years. I know which doctors do integrative care, like I have resources for people. So just to be somebody who guides people to those resources. But mostly I would like to be a speaker and have courses. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. So, for those of you listening, we have courses, speaking, and then this like big dreamy goal of a brick and mortar. And I love this because we always want to start with our desired outcome in mind so that we can reverse engineer, because we really don't need to know all the how and all the steps. We just need to know like what one little step is next. So, Jen, what I'm going to have us do for this episode is I want you to think about knowing that that's your long-term goal, the course, the speaking, and the brick and mortar, what feels like would be such a huge win for you in the next 30 days?
Have some form of income producing activity so I can fund my dream outcome, right? So I do need a cash infusion. And so I need something in order to make that happen.
Love it. Okay. So a revenue generating activity in the next 30 days. Beautiful. Is there anything that comes up that you've already thought of, or do we want to build an idea from scratch?
Let's build an idea from scratch. But what I have in the works right now is I am today actively working on a lead magnet and a tool to build an email list because I don't
Beautiful.
have that yet. So that is where I'm starting today. So in 30 days from now, hopefully something that from that can produce some kind of income.
Yeah, I love that. So anytime we're working on our revenue goals, this is also another opportunity to reverse engineer. So because you're still list building, let's put your quote unquote your launch at the end of the 30 days. So where are we now? It's October 14th. So by November 14th, you're going to have made an offer, and that gives you a few weeks to like build your list with the lead magnet. And we can even break that down even more to like, okay, you've got 3 days to make sure that the lead magnet is all working and set up. And then you have 2 weeks to go like balls to the wall on putting that lead magnet out to the world and building your list. And then you have, about a week to promote the offer. Does that sound doable?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. And the
awesome.
cool part about the timeline, thinking about it, it gets, if I could come up with something like that fits into Black Friday,
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
we're going to start getting into shopping mode
yeah,
for the
yeah,
holiday.
exactly. Okay. So, what I want you thinking about though, because courses were at the top of your list. So, in a dreamy situation with my experience in digital course creators, is that you will be actually selling your first course by this November 14th date. And the way I want you to do that is what we call monetize before you make it. So, before you actually record your modules to the course, you're going to be selling it like, look at it as like pre orders. So that would look like, um, hey guys, I am creating a course on the root causes of cancer, and I'm looking for some founding members to be the first people that buy my course. And all you have to do is prepay for it. And then the first module's going to, come out on X date. And that way, what this does is this is giving us proof of concept of the offer before we actually do the work, and now we're getting paid to record the modules.
Okay. That
How
makes
does that
sense.
sound? Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Okay. So when we think about making that offer at the end of the 30 days, what questions or resistance comes up?
Well, I mean, initially when you said have a course ready in 30 days, like my stomach got really tight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa, can we build a course in 30 days? But I mean, you're right. To reverse engineer it makes sense. And then it gives you micro goals to get to your end goal. But yeah, it does feel a little scary.
Yeah. So we don't have like this is one of the biggest mistakes that I see in the digital marketing world is like someone's like, okay, I'm going to go create a course. And then they go hibernate for a couple weeks and they record all their modules and the course is perfect and shiny and amazing. And then they never market it. Or they market it and it doesn't sell because it was a stinky offer and they didn't know and they wasted all that time creating it like an offer that nobody wants. So this will give us proof of concept that like people actually want the thing that we're creating and it's going to actually motivate us to create it because we already have buyers and prevent like creating something for a customer that isn't there yet, right? Because creating the course is the easy part, marketing it is the beast. What do you feel like in the past has been a challenge for, and I'm like, I know you, so I'm leading you a little bit of a direction here. When it comes to marketing and revenue generating activities, what has held you up in the past?
Me?
Okay. Yeah. Tell us more.
Just
Tell us more
me.
about that.
Well, I mean, I've got all the reasons, functional freeze, overwhelm. I hit burnout last year. And so just working through my own shit, and actually showing up for myself. But I realized, I don't know, it's been about a month ago when I realized I was hiding. Like I was showing up to meetings and not even coming on camera. And so I started to ask myself, like, what am I hiding? Like I'm the only person in my own way.
Mhm.
And what I've got to offer and the knowledge that I have is so beneficial for people, especially ones that are struggling, because I can help them consolidate the information. And so you told me that I was being selfish by not sharing, but it's taken that honest look in the mirror and knowing that I'm the only thing in my way. And all I need to do is get into action and everything will fall into place. And I inherently know that in the soul of who I am.
Yeah, yeah. So what feels different this time?
Acknowledging that I've been hiding and I've actually showed up to meetings this week. I've committed to doing this with you. I've committed to more networking events. And so I'm getting out of my house and showing up. I'm showing up for me, but I'm
Yeah.
showing up with other people and making more connections. Like last Friday at your meeting that we had, I made some new connections with people I wouldn't have met if I didn't leave my house.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for what
Okay.
I do, I think the connections are like a critical component.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Beautiful. So let's fast forward to it's November 12th, November 13th. We're at the end of our 30 days and you have built your email list. Let's just say you got 50 or 100 people on that email list and you're sitting down to invite them to purchase this course. Okay. So when can you see yourself putting
Having
together the copy? Huh?
I think I'm having a hot flash.
Okay, see? But there's that resistance.
I
Or is
know.
it or is it just a real hot flash?
No, it's just resistance because it's like this is making the goal more real. And so this is the benefit of having a coach. I mean, because I'm not going to hold myself to this accountability standard because I'll be like, "Oh, if I don't make it by the 14th, I'll do it by the 15th or 16th, or I'll do it between Christmas and Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving and Christmas." But yeah, so I think that's where like I'm feeling the resistance from me, but I like the accountability of having you.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe we need to do a follow-up episode on the 17th so that you can tell people exactly what you did.
Okay.
Does that
Yeah.
sound like doable?
I
Or
mean,
at
that's
least it
like
could be a check it. You can give me something to report back because I think what I'm looking for as your coach is like we've seen a pattern where you've created revenue generating activity ideas and then the freeze
nothing with it.
happens. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just sits in Carl.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
for
So
those of you who don't know, Carl's my chat GPT. That's what
yeah,
I named
Carl
it.
is Jen's ChatGPT. She gave him a name. You know what's funny? So I gave my ChatGPT a name. I said, "Let's come up with a name for you," and we named it Sage, but it calls me Sage. So
Funny.
it'll be like, "So Sage, would you like me to put together?" I'm like, "We got this wrong," and I just haven't corrected it.
I keep thinking I should tell Carl that I call him Carl and see how he shows up differently.
Yeah, you should because that see if it starts calling you Carl. So I love ChatGPT, but it is really funny sometimes, like the little oopsies that it makes. Like
Yeah,
sometimes I'm
totally.
like, "Can you scroll up? We've already talked about this."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to the resistance feeling. So it's November 12th. You're sitting down to put together your marketing campaign for this launch. Okay. So you're going to have emails to your list that you've built with your opt in, and you're going to be posting on social. Like you're going to be going 10 out of 10 energy into this invitation. So just walk me through what that looks like. Walk me through that day.
After I freak out, no, I'm kidding. I don't even know how to answer that question because I'm still working on the tools and I'm just going to do it. Like I'm going to be like Nike. I'm just going to do it. Like I guess what it looks like is between now and then showing up consistently in social media
Okay. And how will you know you're consistent?
by doing it every day
Okay. So one social media post every day.
at minimum about root cause clarity, not the easy stuff that I do that's like the beach posts
Yeah.
that I
Okay. So
skies
one post
pictures.
every day about root cause clarity.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And have you done one yesterday?
N-
Okay. So this is starting right now.
Today,
Okay.
I guess.
You guessed.
Today's the
Okay.
day. Today's the day.
Today's the day.
Yeah, every day between now and because I mean, I post inconsistently. And so it has to be like I have to have a change in behavior, I feel like. And if I don't change my habits, when I used to teach sales and operations training, I always used to say to my classes, if you always do what you've always done, you're always going to get what you've always got,
Mm-hmm.
right? If I don't change, like I'm taking like my own advice. If I don't change my habits, I'm not going to change my outcome. And my outcome right now is no income. And I don't want to do that. Like I quit my 9 to 5 job a year ago for a reason. And it's not to go back to another 9 to 5. I tried that and I was miserable. So changing, I need to change things up. And
Yeah. Well, and the
so I'm
fastest way for the revenue, though, is the one on one that we talked about. So, for those of you
right.
listening, if a cash injection is your priority, a digital course or membership is not, is you want to be working on those things together. But the quickest way from point A to point B is to trade your time for money and offer a one-to-one call where you're solving a problem for somebody. And so we've put this together for you in the past.
Hmm.
What feels like it was the block to, like, what makes that feel difficult or like something you don't want to focus on, knowing if you did it you could have $300 tomorrow.
Well, maybe that's what I do in addition to 30-day course thing is like this week publish or put out once I have my email, maybe I make that my first lead magnet is or maybe how do I make that?
Yeah, so we have the lead magnet, and when someone signs up and they get your what does it look like? Is it like a checklist on what to look like, on what to look for root cause clarity?
Well, so what I realized right before we got on here today was that I've started in the past a book about water and hydration and the importance of hydration because one of my affiliate marketing products is a molecular hydrogen water machine, right?
Hmm.
But it's a 30 to 40 page book about water. So, but it's a bigger bite to bite off and chew. And so you're a check. I was thinking I need something. I was going to go with Carl after we got off the phone and say I need something that's more simple that I can offer for free to help build my email list, like a checklist.
Okay, so you don't know what the lead magnet's going to be yet. You were just going to build the landing page.
Well, I was going to make it be the water book, but I think that that can be an additional separate resource. I need something that's not going to take me all day to do in Canva
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get
I
it
mean, it
done.
could be like, 5 things that you can change right now to help prevent, cancer, or to get to the root, to understand the root causes of cancer. I know we have to be careful with what we say online about, like, preventing, but 5 things to understand right away about the causes of cancer. Protect the people you love, have hard conversations, whatever it might be. So that could be a really good opt in. Okay. And then when you send someone an email, a freebie, now you've got the opportunity to email them again. So I think what this would look like for you, if you're wanting to integrate the opportunity for the one-on-one as well as building a list for your pre-sales for your course, is like, hey, you downloaded my freebie. I hope you love it. Reply, tell me one of your favorite things. I'm building a course that's going to be coming out at the end of the month. I'm going to be looking for 10 founding members. If that sounds exciting to you, make sure you stick around. But in the meantime, if it feels more urgent to you to solve X, Y, and Z problem, I have one-to-one calls. You can get on with me in 3 days. Here's my calendar. So that's how I
That
would
sounds
integrate it if you wanted to do them both simultaneously, but you want that one-on-one call to solve a very specific problem. Like understand the root cause, understand the root causes, get your root cause clarity like right now versus, if you're more of a self-study person, make sure you wait. I'm going to have an opportunity for you to be one of the first 10 founding members. Normally, I'm kind of anti two separate offers, but Jen, I know for you, this priority of making a little bit of money is more than just making the money. It's going to like show you what's possible. Like that feeling that we get when we make our first sale is really indescribable because it's like, it's that moment of this is possible for me. So, what I really want to see you get is just that like first, like cha-ching, like coaching session booked, course sale made, and if you really put your mind to it, you can have that, this week.
I agree. I agree with you completely. Like, and that actually feels okay to say because one of the things in this other class I'm taking, they were talking about just showing up, like showing up in some of the, because there's a lot of groups out there with cancer patients in them,
Mm-hmm.
but just showing up and adding value to the conversations to make them want to come and follow me and learn what I've got to say too. So that's something else that's in my mind. Another thing that's on my heart is
But do you see how
creating.
like your brain's taking you somewhere else when it's like, if we can't sell to the 10 people who already follow us, then we can't go in those communities and expect to have a result from it, right? There's 10 people in your orbit right now. They follow you on Instagram. You've already met them at a networking event. You've already got their email address, whatever it might be. There's 10 people that know who you are right now. And if you're not prioritizing making an offer to them, nothing else matters because that's just us saying, oh, well, if I just do this, it'll be easier. If I just do that, it'll be easier. It's like, it's already easy. We're just not doing it.
You know what? So here's a raw moment.
That's good.
I
That's why we're
think
here.
this is what's happened over the past year is there's so many possibilities because the topic is so broad and there's so many ways I could go that I've gotten stuck and overwhelm in the big things and I've not been listening to you when you keep guiding me back to you're making this too complicated. Like take baby it's like you're saying take your baby step first and then take another baby step and then worry about all this other stuff.
Yeah. Just
Am I hearing
every
you right?
day you wake up right now, just pretend you have 10 people in a room and you're trying to find the one person in the room that needs you. And you want to make sure that that one person in the room that needs you can find you as well. That's it. Like we want it to be like, oh, something that we're not doing or a social media strategy or whatever, but it's the people already know you exist. The water, I feel like, is a good opportunity to be your dessert marketing. I don't know if you've been on any of the calls where I talked about dessert marketing. So, what that is when you see these Instagram accounts that are like high protein desserts. These are my favorite because they always pull me in because I'm like, oh my God, I want to try this high protein pudding cookie dough. It's so amazing. And they usually are pretty good. And so then I sign up for the recipe and then I make the dessert and it's amazing. And then I get an email and it's like, oh my gosh, they do more than high protein desserts. They've got meal planning recipes, they've got health coaching, blah, blah, blah. But the virility of their account, because all they're talking about is high protein desserts, everyone is finding them because it's like, that's what they're talking about. So when you say like it's overwhelming, you've got all these topics, the water can be your dessert marketing. Somebody finds you because you're doing all this education on the hydrogen water. Is that what it's called? Hydrogen
Molecular hydrogen water.
molecular hydrogen water. You're doing all this education about that, and that's how people are finding you. And then they realize, oh my gosh, she actually is talking about all the root causes of cancer in this root cause clarity program. So your freebie could be the 5 greatest benefits of drinking the right water, or how do I know if I'm drinking the right water? I mean, your lead magnet could be so many different things around that. And then your content is really specific. And that's how you really pull people in, is like that specificity and what I call dessert marketing.
I like it. That
Yeah.
makes perfect
But
sense.
again, if you want to make $300 tomorrow, you can always do that too. It can be an and,
Yes. It's gonna
right?
have to be because yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you've waited long enough. It's time to just like, okay, there's already 10 people in my orbit. And even if they're not, the 10 people in my orbit have friends who need this. So, how can I get really loud about the fact that I can help someone and all they have to do is book a call with me, you know?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. And sometimes it's even just getting the free call so that you can make them the offer. I understand that sometimes people aren't going to go from 0 to a $300 investment just via Instagram, but you can get them on a 30-minute call and get to know them and say, "Hey, I'd really like to tackle this on, a 90-minute deep dive or an hour strategy call for you specifically. Would you like to take that next step?" We've got to make the invitations. If we want to make more money, we got to make more invitations.
I hear you. I need to be an inviter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so how certain on a scale of 1 to 10 do you feel like you'll take action on that this week and see if you can make your first $300?
10. Like,
10?
it's a 10.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, something flipped last week, and it was what was a couple weeks ago, with the reality of the fact that I was genuinely hiding. And trying to come up, not trying, I was coming up with all the excuses of, "Oh, I'm in functional freeze," or, "Oh, it's because I'm burned out," or, "Oh, it's this." I'm gonna use something that you shared. It was you're waking up at 6 o'clock, right? It's your mindset, and I know mindset. I study it and I teach it. I could teach it. And so it's my mindset flipped. Yeah, I flipped my mindset. Let me be clear on that one.
Yeah.
I changed my mindset and how I'm showing up.
Yeah. Okay, so what was it before and what is it now? Was there like a specific reframe of a phrase that you were saying to yourself over and over? So, like the morning one for me, I kept saying, "I'm not a morning person. Oh, I'm in my 40s, so I need lots of sleep. I don't have to get up early to be successful." Those were like the three kind of like validating mantras that allowed me to not be someone that got up at 6. And I had to replace those with totally new ones. So, is there an area that you did that too?
I don't know if I could put words to it. If I thought about it for a couple days, maybe I could put words to what I was thinking. But where I have flipped it to is I show up for myself. I honor and respect myself enough to show up for me. And what I've got to share is important.
Yeah. And really, the showing up part, is it really for us?
Yeah, I think it is. But I mean, for me, showing up is going to benefit a lot of different people. But for me showing up, it benefits me most because I'm honoring myself.
Yeah, you're building that integrity with yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or
And
I
we can do
have it
that
in the
in a
past.
lot of ways. But I think, when we build these types of businesses, I mean, when I get up in the morning, I'm like, it's got nothing to do with me. Like, I'm just, thinking about the people that I can help and the fact that this is my career. There's no piece of it that's self-serving. But you're right. The bigger piece, this is our dream. Like, it is my dream to do this. So that part is somewhat about me. But I think what you're looking for here is the showing up to show yourself that you'll do it, like to build that trust muscle within yourself. And this shows up in our relationship with exercise, our relationship with time, our relationship with what we eat. It's not just showing up on social, it shows up in all areas of our life.
100%. And that I follow this guy called David Guillaume, and he teaches the Kabbalah. And what he was saying, I was listening to him yesterday. He was on a live thing. It's irrelevant. But he was talking about this girl that came to one of his seminars, and she was complaining about how, she wanted to meet a partner who was professional, certain height, like all the wonderful things. And he framed it back to her like, are you all of those things to you? Because you're not going to attract that in until you are that. And she came back a couple of years later to another seminar of his, and she realized that she wasn't showing up in all those areas for herself, the exercise, the nutrition, like all the things that she was expecting out of a partner. And when she flipped that, she attracted this great partner. But then, after a couple of years of that, she was just like, but I don't know if he's the right partner. And so he framed it back to her like, you have to keep elevating. So that's for me, that's where I feel like I've been really intentional about who I listen to and what I'm believing in.
Mhm.
And I really like what he shares and what he teaches
Yeah.
because it's just about being authentic with yourself and showing up with love and treating everybody with respect. If you can't do that for yourself, how are you going to attract that in? It's way more deeper than that, but I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. And now you get to do that when you make an invitation,
which I'm
for
going
your
to
one.
start doing this week.
Yes. Yes. Because that is you believing in yourself and the offer that you have, right? If I'm like not totally certain that I can help someone, it's going to be really hard to show up, but you can help these people. So it's really leaning into that energy of like, I am 10 out of 10 certain that I have a tool that can help someone. So, like, what's preventing me from making the invitation? That's what you have to
Yeah,
continue to ask yourself.
right. So one of the things I just wrote down in my notes is to wake up and ask myself the question every day, who can I help today?
Mm-hmm.
And then just keep that like, so my mind, so my consciousness, my soul is always on the lookout for who I can help in
Mm-hmm.
whatever way I can help them.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
then it'll
calling them
all,
in, making sure that you're visible so that they can find you, right? Because I do kind of pay attention to what I call kind of like the shark marketers, and then there's like the magnetic marketers. And like I like to think of myself as a magnetic marketer and show you guys how to be magnetic marketers so that it's almost like we're a lighthouse and people can find us because we're standing so tall in our conviction versus, well, let me go DM this person because they look like they're struggling with their marketing, right? Those are two
right.
different strategies. And I think again, it all starts with how we talk to ourselves. So I may not say who needs my help today. I'm going to say who can I help today? Or who can I call forward today? What can I say that will attract people that speak my language? Okay, so I want to tie this up in a loop so that the people listening feel like they are super clear on what your action items are. You're super clear on what your action items are so that if we need to do a follow up in a month, we can talk about the things that went really well and the learning lessons that we had because yeah, there's always going to be lessons or results. Okay, so this week you're going to make an invitation to the one-on-one situation that we've either the one that we've already built or if you want to change or tweak that a little bit. Now we have to measure the actions. So would it feel realistic to maybe do one social media post about it and send like 5 personal emails? What feels good to you?
That feels good.
Okay. And then you're going to continue to build your landing page and go through the process of building your course and creating that monetize before you make it offer. Because this is an and I think that there's a pattern here where you're hiding from doing the things that actually make money because you're prioritizing a different revenue generating activity. Like,
Right. Or I'm in the constant state of learning. Like,
right.
what other course can I pay for? And I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I just need to do it. Like, I really, so this feels good. So I'm going to post daily for on social media, starting with a post about working with me one on one with 30-minute free call to see if we work together to work toward a 90-minute deep dive, and then 5 personal emails about the monetize before you make it, and work on my landing page and start the course.
And then by the 14th of November, you're going to be making that offer for your 10 founding members or whatever that looks like on your email list that you've built with your opt-in. Okay. Is any resistance coming up or anything telling your brain that this isn't possible?
No,
You're going to do it.
not at all.
10
Yeah,
out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Okay. Okay, we'll see. I believe in you. Do you believe in you is the question.
Yeah, I
Okay.
do. And I mean that with like absolute certainty because again, it's mindset stuff. And if I don't believe in me, it's not going to happen. And so I have to believe in me because it needs to happen.
Yeah. And then reminding yourself like what's the consequence if I don't do these things that I said I was going to
I mean, it's letting myself down. And then you pop into that shame loop, you
do?
know?
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that. I've had the dance with the shame prom for a long time. We don't want to go there anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's time. It's time. As far as like is there anything that you're afraid of or anything that you're worried will happen 30 days from now?
No, I think I'm not afraid of anything.
All right. Good job.
And
Is there
if
anything
it
else you'd
doesn't,
like to share?
no, this was good. I think this was, it needed to happen. I'm
And you're
glad.
saying it out loud, so it's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Because now if I don't do this, like other people are going to know.
Well, that's that. And that's where we'll really have to do part two because, the coaching really comes into play when somebody is out of integrity and not doing what they say they're going to do. My job would be really easy and almost have no purpose if everybody just always did what they said they were going to do. So the assigning of the tasks is pretty easy, right? It's the like, will you actually do them this time? Because we both know you've been in a cycle of not. So what happens 30 days from now, you're either going to do them and you're going to be celebrating whether you get any sales or not, because you're going to celebrate the fact that you stayed in integrity. And that's such a huge win in itself. Or you're going to have made sales and it's going to be a beautiful outcome. So it's win win, right? It's to
Right.
actually do what we're
Yep.
saying we're going to do is always a win win because we're going to learn, we're going to build trust with ourselves, and we're going to get outcomes.
Yeah. I mean, on this other podcast I listened to, this woman made the most valid point. She's like, listen, I started with 0 followers. I started with $0. We all start at zero. She's like a multi-million dollar, very well-known businesswoman. And so I'm like, That's a good point." So I'm at the $0. I don't have 0 followers. I have plenty of followers.
Right.
And it's just a matter of
So this is the perfect time for you to make an
perfect.
invitation because you do have an audience that you have not made an invitation to. So,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the perfect time. Usually the best case scenario digital launches that we see are people that have been on social for a while and not actually selling anything because they've got this primed, engaged audience and this is the first time you've made an offer and they're like so excited, to support you. So, but it's also possible to start from zero. There are people that have 0 followers and they follow the process and, they also get great outcomes, but you have the followers and the numbers in your favor to just make that ask and get that first sale.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I'll
Okay.
report back in November.
I know. I love it. Okay. Anything else you want to share with people as far as how they can find you and learn more about you?
Yeah, I'm Jennifer Hastert on Instagram. It's just Jennifer Hastert. On Facebook, I'm Jennifer Smith Hastert. I don't have a website yet. I'm working on that, but
And you're on the
I'm starting.
TikTok. You do well on TikTok too.
I'm unapologetically Jen on
Great.
TikTok.
Okay.
I
Love
think
it.
it's unapologetically underscore Jen.
Okay. And then once you get that landing page set up, so technically this episode is going to go live in a week. So I want your landing page included in the show notes so that everybody will know that you did it. So we're going to
Okay.
include that in the show notes and we'll go ahead and do a little 7-day update in the show notes as well. And let you guys know how Jen is doing. So thank you, Jen, for joining us and being my first like coaching on air experiment. You're pretty self-aware, so I didn't have to go be too hard on you.
Yeah, I am that. But thanks for having me. I
Okay,
appreciate it.
thanks. Yep.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for being here and pushing play today. It absolutely means the world that you have found this podcast or found this YouTube channel, and we wouldn't exist without you. So, if you're curious about finding your next step in business, don't forget to take our next step action quiz at elizabethhenson.co/next. And if you love this podcast or you love this channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, share it with a friend, or leave us a review. It truly means everything. And if you have a question or a barrier in your business, we are starting a new series where we're going to be coaching live on air and taking questions and using them as inspiration for the podcast. All you have to do to submit your question, or if you're interested in being a guest on the podcast, is go to elizabethhenson.co/ask. Again, that is specifically if you are open to being vulnerable and sharing about your business and being coached live on air. We hope to hear from you. All right, I'll see you guys next week.